How could spending all your time studying actually hurt your future? Good day, my wonderful and successful international students. I am very happy to be here with you today. I work with international students every single day. I see situations that many people outside this experience of being an international student, do not fully understand. International students carry pressures that are often invisible to others. Cultural adjustment, expectations from home, uncertainty about their future, and of course the responsibility of making this opportunity abroad worthwhile. And that is exactly why this channel exists. Here on the Successful International Student, we talk about the real experiences of studying abroad, the challenges that nobody explains, and the strategies that are going to help us navigate with confidence when we study abroad. If you're an international student, you are in the right place because this community is here for you. You're not alone. So please consider subscribing and join us because together we can learn how to succeed abroad and not only how to survive. Today, I want to talk about something you may have heard on campus or something that may even describe how you're feeling right now. Recently, I was reading an article in the Seattle Times. Something really caught my attention. The title, I thought it was very powerful. The title was, "Behind every study rat, there's a struggling international student." Now, before we move on and before we continue, I want to explain that expression, study rat, because the moment when I read it, I think a lot of my international students are not either going to understand what this expression means or are going to be maybe feeling offended. So I'm going to explain it. In English, calling someone a study rat sometimes can sound negative. And in many cultures, that comparison, of course, can feel very offensive. But there is another English word that also describes this expression and this same behavior, and it's kinder. It's called a bookworm. When you are a bookworm, and you probably have heard this before, it's usually someone who loves reading, who loves studying, someone who's always focused on their books. And in many countries, actually, being called a bookworm is a compliment. It means that you are very disciplined. It means that you're serious and dedicated to your education. Now, that education, I am sure, is what helped you reach this moment right now. It helped you enter a university abroad, and it made you and your family proud. But here's the question I would like you to reflect on today. What if spending all your time studying in the library and just studying and being all the time in between books is actually the reason some international students struggle later, not academically, but professionally, socially, personally? So, over the years working with thousands now of international students, I have seen this pattern many times. Students who are usually very intelligent and hardworking, who actually feel that they are doing academically perfectly well, what happens? They usually feel lonely, exhausted, confused about why their academic efforts are not leading to a life that is happier, to a life that is more relaxed, to a life that is what they imagine living abroad would be like. So today, take some time to reflect on three things. Why so many international students fall into this bookworm trap, and why this can be a trap? What is really happening beneath the surface, and how to find the balance that you need to achieve to experience abroad a successful life. So, let's imagine this situation for a minute. It's Friday night, you're sitting in the library in your usual quiet corner. Your back hurts maybe from sitting for hours. Maybe you only ate a sandwich today. You check your phone, your friends are having dinner, they're celebrating, and you tell yourself, I cannot go. I have to stay here in the library because I have an exam next week, midterms are coming up, and you believe, of course, that you're being responsible, you're being a serious student. Now, because I am a teacher and I know how important it is to study, please understand that this episode is not about telling you, oh, forget about the books and forget about the studying and forget about all your academic responsibilities. Of course not. This episode is about balance. There are 3 pressures that most international students share. And these 3 pressures is exactly what is making the situation even more difficult. The first one is the pressure that we feel from our family expectations. We know that in many cultures, of course, education is not only about the individual student. You're representing sometimes the whole community. Perhaps your parents sacrificed a great deal so that you could study abroad. Or like me, you sold your house and you sold everything so you could make this new life abroad and in this new country. So the message you carry is very strong. I must succeed and I must not waste this opportunity. Sometimes in most countries, being a bookworm is very honorable, right? Because if you spend all your time in between books, that usually shows dedication, it shows respect. But in a new country, that same behavior could sometimes isolate you. And that is also something that we need to be very careful with, because I have seen a lot of international students actually using the library as an excuse because they are scared to go out or they're scared to socialize. Now, the second pressure we're going to talk about is something we call the visa pressure. In many of our home countries, sometimes if you fail a class, the worst that can happen is that, well, you have to pay again for the course, you have to take an extra exam, but, well, life continues. You are home, right? However, for international students abroad, the consequences of failing a class can, of course, feel much more serious. Why? Because academic performance is going to affect your scholarships, your enrollment status, or even your immigration status. So that fear of failure becomes very powerful because you can lose your study visa. So the thinking becomes simple. If I study 10 hours, I might pass. But if I study 40 hours, well, I cannot fail. I will definitely have to succeed. However, studying becomes a form of protection, a way to eliminate risk. But when studying is driven mainly by fear, and this is the word I would like you please to stop and think about. If this studying comes from fear, if this obsession of studying all the time comes from fear, it's going to be exhausting and unsustainable because you cannot go on with this pressure all the time. So take time to think about this. Now, the third pressure is called cultural comfort. When you move to a new country, remember, everything feels unfamiliar, right? And the conversations, the humor, the social expectations in social situations, sometimes many international students worry. What if I don't understand the jokes? What if I don't know what to say? What if my accent sounds strange? What if I say something that is not understood or perceived correctly? The library is safe because the rules are clear at the library. Sit down, read, take notes, focus on your work, and that's it. No need to socialize, no need to talk to anyone else. So the library becomes a kind of safe place or a cave, let's call it that. But here is something important to understand. The library can teach you, of course, knowledge. In fact, and the books will teach you that. But it cannot teach you how to build relationships, how to know how to collaborate with others. It cannot help you learn how to work in teams or how to navigate professional environments in the future. And when international students graduate and enter the workforce, those are the skills that suddenly become extremely important. Remember, employers are not looking for people with excellent grades. They want people who can communicate clearly, efficiently, work in teams, solve problems, and build trust with others in the company. So these human skills are developed through interaction with people. And if you keep hiding in the library or you keep hiding in your bedroom in between books all the time, guess what's going to happen? This can create an invisible gap between the academic success world and the real world success. So, Now let's talk about how we can find this balance. How do we remain dedicated to the studies without isolating ourselves? I want to share with you 3 ideas, 3 strategies that I am sure are going to help you, because I have given these ideas, these strategies to international students in different parts of the world, and they have worked. Now, the first idea is efficiency. Many international students respond to fear by studying longer hours, but more hours do not always mean better learning. There is a principle that I am sure you have heard about, and it's called the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule suggests that a small portion of effort often produces most of the results. So that means that if you focus in that 20%, instead of studying 10 hours, 12 hours, try to use those hours strategically. Instead of studying everything with the equal intensity, focus on understanding the key ideas of the class, the key ideas of your course, the key ideas that will be asked in your midterm. A very practical strategy that can help you is visiting your professor during office hours and asking questions like, okay, what are the most important concepts maybe for the final exam? Or sometimes professors also help students before the midterm or before the exam, make sure they focus on the main ideas. What should I focus on the most? And these are questions that you can ask to your professors. These conversations can actually guide your studying and make it more efficient, more focused. So when you study with focus rather than fear, you often gain extra time that can be used to build connections, to experience the outside world. Okay, not everything is in the classroom. And usually when you are sure that you're making your time, you're using your time in a more efficient way, then you will see that you will have time for life outside of the library as well. Now, the second idea is reframing how you see education abroad. Many students feel guilty spending time on social activities because they believe I must concentrate and focus all my effort 100% only in study. But remember, your education abroad offers much more than just lectures and textbooks. It also offers the opportunity to network, to make new friends, to get cultural understanding. Think of your degree as a ticket that allows you to enter a new world. But that world is not only in the books or in the library. The classroom is just one part of the whole study abroad experience. The conversations and the relationships that you build are equally valuable and as important as your grades. So, participating in student organizations, for example, meeting with some of your classmates for coffee after class, or attending campus events are not distractions from your education. They are part of your education and they are part of your learning process abroad. So that's the first thing we need to understand. These events, they help you understand how people communicate, how people collaborate, and how to build trust in this new society. Now, after you have understood that part and you have taken the time to not feel guilty about doing other things, then we can go to idea number 3. The idea number 3 is something we're going to call brave exposure. And this works, trust me, it does work because I have seen it. You do not need to transform your entire social life overnight. I'm not saying close your books right now, forget about studying, go out and party all night long. Please, this is not what I am suggesting. However, small steps are sometimes enough. The next time there is a social opportunity, club meeting, a study group, or a casual gathering, try staying for 15 minutes in this event. I know it may be hard because you may feel uncomfortable. You may not feel very comfortable, hanging out with people who speak differently than you, that may look differently from how you look. So take little steps. Over time, these small experiences gradually are going to reduce your anxiety and your fear. And I promise these little experiences are going to start building your confidence. You're going to start feeling more confident. And actually, when you start spending time with other people and with other classmates, you may even discover something very surprising. Most of the other international students are as nervous as you are. They are feeling as awkward as you are feeling. So everyone is learning to connect. So you are not alone. Okay? Now, time to reflect. Time for reflection. Being a bookworm helped you reach this point where you are right now. Your dedication opened the door for you. Congratulations. But thriving abroad requires something more than academic effort alone. It requires balance, curiosity, and most importantly, connection with the people around you. So studying abroad is not only about passing exams, it is about growing into someone who can move confidently between different cultures. So, here is now my question for you. Share in the comments from these 3 ideas, which do you think you need to reflect on, you think you need to work on? When you share in the comments, you're helping other international students connect with you. Your answer might inspire another student who's still maybe sitting quietly in the library wondering how to take the first step. So please do share and subscribe to join our community. And remember, my wonderful and successful international students, this experience we're living is not only about studying abroad, it is about thriving abroad. You know that I believe in you. You've got this. And I will see you in our next episode. Ciao.